Does anyone else hate this question as much as I do? What do you do? Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Wackett. Thanks for joining me for another video as we work to empower and equip you with the confidence and skills to write your own story so that you can live your life on purpose. Today's video is short and sweet. Our goal is to employ you as agents of change to shift conversations from being about what we do to who we are. Well, in theory, it's a powerful open-ended question. It bothers me for two reasons. First, it's reductive. We are worth and defined by so much more than what we do. Yet this is often the first question we're asked when meeting new people, reinforcing the message that what we do is the majority of who we are. Two, it's stigmatizing. I have definitely put my foot in my mouth before asking this question. And while the question itself doesn't suggest better or worse answers, we know the power of a ladder system and the subtext of this question. What do you do to make money, and how do you define your success or prove your worth? This question sets people up to present themselves in a very specific way, and often puts people in non-traditional or non-income-driven roles, like a stay-at-home caregiver, to feel less than or reduced by this question. And yet this question continues to be asked universally. How can we shift the momentum? We've all felt it, especially in the last years of the pandemic. We want our lives to be about more than burning ourselves out for jobs, tasks, and roles that we don't even care about, but get stuck in because of shame, scarcity, and external pressure. We want to stop buying those self-help books that just collect dust on the shelf, or feel like our health has to take a back seat to everyone else's demands, goals, and to-dos. But we don't know how. And while the shifts that need to take place are more significant than the context of this video, one small way we can begin to change the narrative is to stop making what we do the focus of how we connect with and share ourselves with others. So how do we do this? By agreeing to stop making your opening question, what do you do, whenever you meet someone new? Now you're probably thinking, okay, great, I get it, but what do I say instead? Well, here are 12 other prompts that you can ask instead of that question. First, tell me about yourself. This very open question allows people to answer however they choose. They might still lead with their job title or education status, but it opens the door to let them decide what they want to share. Two, how do you spend your time? You might also ask, how do you enjoy spending your time? I find this usually opens the door for people to share various roles and responsibilities, and is typically a great catapulting question to go deeper into different areas or zones of connection. Three, what does a typical day look like for you? This one is fun because it allows people to think about how their day looks as a more complete picture, not singularly focused on a task or role. Four, where is home for you? Now, I used to ask the question, where are you from? But this can be a really charged and complex question for some to answer, depending on their citizenship, race and ethnicity, political circumstances, and more. Five, what is something you really are into or enjoy doing right now? I like this one a lot too because it gets at hobbies, interests, and values. You could also make it a little bit more general and ask, what's one thing that brings you joy? Often this will get them to connect to a person, role, or hobby and opens the door for them to share why that's so important to them or what about it brings them joy. Six, what's your favorite thing to do to unwind? This question allows you to connect on hobbies and activities for wellness and recreation. Maybe it'll open the door to talk about your shared obsession with Stranger Things. Maybe it gets you all brainstorming about some of the best hiking spots just outside of the city. Might even start a conversation for both of you about how hard it can be to engage in things that feel fun or relaxing, and reflect on what you want to do about it or how you want to bring more of that into your life. Number 7, what song instantly lifts your spirits or puts you in a good mood? Music is such a powerful tool for connection and emotion exploration. I love hearing about people's go-to songs. Now, a couple other ways you could ask this one could be, what's your locker room hype song or your walkout song? Or what song do you love to rock out to, or would I always catch you singing in the car? 8, if you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be? Now, you could also ask if your friends, family, children, partner, coworkers could describe you in 3 words, what would they say? Sometimes I even ask them both versions to see how they differ. It's a fun game focusing the conversation on character and context versus the content of what they do. 9, what's your favorite thing about blank? Could be the season, the type of year. This one is classic and super easy to use. I like that it gets people talking about what they do for fun and adds a layer of joy to the conversation. 10, what is something that you're looking forward to this next week? This one is great because it allows people to share something upcoming and helps them anchor on something positive in the week ahead. We know that when we get burnt out and overwhelmed, we can get tunnel visioned with dread, so this can be a great way to expand their vision. Another way to expand out of that tunnel is by asking, what's something that you're grateful for today? Or, what's a highlight of your day, your week, your year? These questions are some of my favorites to ask anyone, new and old acquaintances, friends, family, and especially I love having these conversations with my toddler, as it helps us all stay anchored in the things that enhance and bring joy to our life, rather than the negatives that we can get stuck in or consumed by. 11, what is something interesting about you that I wouldn't know to ask? Now, I like this one because it gets people thinking and allows them to share whatever stands out to them. It really shifts people away from talking about their job or surface level things and pulls out funny stories, interesting facts, recounted ideas or dreams, or even silly things that they're interested in. And finally, 12, if you weren't here right now, what would you be doing? All right, there you have it. Those are 12 questions that you can keep in your back pocket to shift the conversation away from jobs, hustle, and productivity culture and get to know the person standing in front of you. Now, before you go, I'd love it if you let us know in the comments which one of these questions resonates most with you. And do you have other go-to questions that you would add to our list so we can keep sharing and expanding on that and really broaden that scope of how we're connecting with other people? Now, if you like what you're hearing, be sure to subscribe to save yourself the time and energy to check back for content and get an alert whenever there's new awesomeness to check out. And if you want to stay in the know on all of the happenings of Adversity Rising, sign up for my email list. There's a link in the show notes there as well. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I am excited by the fact that more people are joining me in the quest to change the conversations and how we're connecting with other people. Because like I said, all of us are pulling to stop having our lives be driven by what we do and that idea that we have to hustle all the time. So let's change the conversation so that we can all re-anchor our story on the things that matter. Join me in getting that pen back. I'll see you next time.